Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe. It is what is it? Oh, my goodness, 25th of January in 2026. I am very happy to be here today. I was afraid I was not going to have electricity today, but they didn't predict the storm correctly, which I'm very glad. So we've only had 5 or 6 inches of snow. We're probably going to get about a half an inch of ice. But it's better than what they originally said, which was 24 inches of snow. So I'm happy about that. Marcia, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. No threat of snow here in Northeast Florida, although since it's under 60 degrees, people here are frozen anyway. But
Yeah,
happy New
that's the
Year
way it
still.
works. That's the way it works, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and I am so happy to introduce our guest today, Dallas Schaefer. Dallas, how are you doing this fine day?
I'm doing quite well. The weather here in sunny California, not as cold as what you're dealing with, Michael. Where are you based?
I'm based in DC,
Ah, got it.
but they
Sounds
but they
cold.
did not tell us the truth about the weather, and I am very happy. So very now further north, it's a lot worse. But
Oh yeah, I bet.
yeah, and south, it's ice totally, not snow.
Mhm.
So you just have to get what you get. So
Yeah.
let's just go ahead and start off with some crazy questions. Um, when did you do your first vertical? And then we'll talk about your other endeavors.
Oh yeah. I believe the vertical wave kind of began in, what would you say, 2023? Does that sound about
That
right?
sounds about right for the U.S. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Wait. Where did it begin elsewhere?
China
When did
2 or
that?
Yeah.
3 years before that.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Yeah, so it kind of started 2023, started seeing them, hearing about them, and at first I was super hesitant and I kind of made fun of them, honestly. And then I had friends that were producing them. They had a production company and they had an actor fall out at the last second, and then they called me and asked if I was available. And on a whim I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." And it was like totally a great experience. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love these things." So that was probably January of 2024.
Oh, okay.
And
Mhm.
since then, I've probably done close to 30 now.
Yeah, I thought that's about how many you'd done because sadly IMDb doesn't post all of them.
No, they don't. No, they don't. It's only
But
about half of them, honestly.
if half, yeah. But I did notice. I said, well, I saw he was in this, but it's not on IMDb. And this, I was like, so I try to recognize people on some of the ones that are not on IMDb, but I'm not very good at recognizing people sometimes. But that's the way it goes.
There's a lot of
So
vertical actors out there, and they all kind of look the exact same. So, like, it's a pretty
yes,
tough job, you know?
yes, no. I mean, and I have looked at one, didn't even realize I'd had that actor on before because I didn't recognize him. And I just go, I am so bad. But
Wow. You gotta
but
step it up, Michael.
I know I need to step up a lot of things. But anyway, so after you did your first one, and maybe you had your family or some friends that weren't actors, asked you what you did, and you told them, and they gave you funny looks. How did you explain it to them?
Yeah, they still have no idea what I'm talking about. I've been doing them now for 2 years, and when I try to explain it, well, for one, they haven't seen any of them. And when I try to explain it, the more in detail I go about it, they're kind of just like, they do one
The
of those
more
like, "What?"
confused they are.
Right, right. And I'm like, the less I say, actually, the better response I get from them. I've learned. So I kind of keep it vague. And I'm like, I'm doing one of these vertical soap operas. It's fun, a couple days of work. And then they're like, oh, cool. And I'm like, yep. And that's it.
Yeah, well, you do what you have to do because, yeah, I mean, I had to explain it to Marcia when I was thinking about doing it back in October of 25. No, 24 actually. October of 24 is when I started to get things rolling, and my first guest was in February of 2025.
Got it.
It took me that long to get somebody that wasn't working that I could find. It was
Right.
like I just went, wow, these people are busy.
Oh man, I mean the ones that are booking quite a bit, like the leads and everything,
Mhm.
they're back to back. They got
Yes,
maybe a few days, if not a day, but between shoots.
between,
And
if that, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've already interviewed him before, but Jared Harper, I've worked with him quite a few times. He's one of the
Mhm.
leading men. Real cool dude. But I remember I was working with him on a vertical. It was the last day, and we had been filming for like 9 days.
Oh,
And he's like, "Yeah, I start the next one tomorrow." It was like, and the next one was like another like 12-day shoot. Um, it's
yeah,
impressive. I
it
mean, I'm sure the
is.
soap opera actors, you know, like General Hospital and everything, I'm sure they experience this in their own way of just having to pound through pages and pages of
Mhm.
dialogue. Um, it's quite impressive. It really is an art form.
No, it is. And I always find it interesting what is your approach to memorization? Do you have a photographic memory, or do you have to do tricks, or you just pound it in, pound it out, and hope you remember it?
Yeah, it kind of changes, you know, through the years. Now, based on like how limited time you have with a lot of these auditions, it's more of like you read it, you get the idea, and then you kind of paraphrase through the audition.
Hmm.
And a lot of times they're okay with you being a little looser, but then like when it actually comes to like preparing for the role, once you got the role, my I kind of have a little OCD with it. What I'll do is I'll write the entire script, all the scenes that I'm in. Then I will write the entire scene for every single scene that I'm in, including the stage directions. And then after every single scene is written, I write the entire scene again, but this time only dialogue. And then after that, then I test myself and I have to write every single scene, only the dialogue. And I have to write it again and again until it's 100% perfect, until I can move on to the next scene. And then once I've written the entire script, just the dialogue 100% perfect, I then record every single scene individually. And I don't look, and I just record myself saying the entire scene, everyone's dialogue. And once I get that 100% perfect, then at that point I'm like, okay, I know the script. Like now I can play.
I have
Sometimes, and
never
that's quite a bit
done.
of, you know, that's quite a bit of prep. That takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't have that much time, and I'm only able to do like half of that checklist. And I'm sure like in 5 years it's going to be different, but currently that's what's going down.
in those 30 that you've done, what is your average time? Because the ones that I have seen recently, you are secondary characters or things like that. How many days of shooting do you usually have for like a role like that?
Like
Or
five
does
at
it vary?
most.
5 at most.
Typically, and sometimes I haven't booked one where it was like the antagonist is on for like 9 days, but there are
Mhm.
those ones as well.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
But I think maybe one of them I was on for like 7 days, but I would say on average it's like 5 days out of the 11.
Mm. And which type of character do you prefer to play?
You know, it's interesting. I would prefer to be the lead, you know,
Yeah.
but I have not. I seem to gravitate towards these really just tortured souls, antagonists, bad dudes, um, and or it's like that, or like the comedic relief sidekick to the protagonist, which those are
Hmm.
fun as well. I think if I were to choose, I would choose the antagonist over the supportive protagonist. But yeah, typically I'm always the bad dude, which is fun. But
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you need some variety. I'll see what I can do.
yeah, if you can pull some strings for me, I'd appreciate that.
No, because and before we go, is there any one vertical that stands out to you because number one, you just love the part, number two, you liked who you were working with, or number three, you just had a fabulous time, or all three for one?
Oh man, that is a good question. There,
And if
ooh,
there's a few, I'll let you list them. You don't have to put them in order because I know that's hard when you've done 30. So,
right. It's kind of tough. You drop that question on me. But I'll tell you what, one of my favorite ones where I was like a supportive good dude, the man I mentioned before, Jared Harper, he has a production company, Arise Pictures, I believe it is. I might have butchered that. But anyways, it's him and his buddies. They have a production company, and they basically produce their own vertical. And I believe it's on the Real Short app, but it's called Love Me Two Times. And it's like a cute rom-com, you know, and Jared's the lead. I'm playing one of his buddies, but it was like everyone on set, you know, it's like it's his production company. So everyone knew each other. We're all like the same age, and we were making this vertical. It was the on-set experience was so much fun, like such a good time. I think I was on that one maybe 5 or 6 days as well. And I was a funny, you know, comedic relief dude. But in terms of like the best experience, that one was like so much fun. Another one that comes to mind was, and it's funny because I was actually just watching your interview with Kyle Fragnolia. And Kyle and I were on the Cursed Alpha's Mate together. And actually, Kyle and I go back a little ways. I know him pretty well. Good dude. But in that one, he's, you know, like the sexy lead werewolf, bad boy. But he's a good boy, but he's a bad boy.
Right.
Anyways,
depends on which way he's turning.
That's right. Right. And I'm the bad wolf, and you know, hanging out with Kyle, filming those scenes. I was a real bad dog, you know, but a lot of fun. Got to really get a little crazy with that one, and then obviously acting with Kyle is a lot of fun. But I would say those two, you know,
those
Love Me
stand
Two
out.
Times, Cursed Alpha's Mate.
That's interesting. Marcia, I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Thank you, Dallas. So you're are you originally from a colder climate? Is that right? In like North Dakota?
Yeah. I similar to Mr. Day here, I can relate to the cold weather. Not anymore. But yeah, it's super cold there.
So was it around the Bismarck area or
Elgin? I went to college in Bismarck. But there's a little town in between. There's like Bismarck, that's a bigger town in North Dakota, and there's this other town, not as big as Bismarck, but it's called Dickinson. And where I'm from, it kind of lies in between the two of them. Small little town called Elgin. Yeah.
And what prompted your turn to acting then? From I would say, you know, that area is not quite known for its theater and television production. So
Well, Marcia, you'd be surprised.
I would be.
No,
So now you
kidding.
also have your own, well, you with some others have your own production company, which Really Serious Films, which you can see on the bottom of the screen here. Are those buddies from the area where you grew up, or?
No, that's actually quite a story in itself. And part of that story kind of leads into how I know Kyle Fragnolia as well.
Oh, okay.
It's quite a long story, but since we're here to tell stories, I could tell you guys the story if you'd like.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, you know, growing up in North Dakota, there's not typically a lot to do, especially in the winter months. So I spent my entire childhood just watching movies and TV. And this is like 2005, 2006. You know, IMDb was still, the internet was a very different thing 20 years ago. Oh, yeah. And I remember early stages IMDb, I'd watch a movie and I'd be like, oh, Brad Pitt was in this movie. Boop, bop, beep. I'm looking up IMDb and I'm like, oh, Brad Pitt was in this movie with this guy and this guy. Oh, I saw that movie. Oh, this guy worked with that guy on that movie and this guy was, you know, I'm like crossing these webs of like, I was so interested in just like IMDb, actors, movies, blah, blah. But when you're living in the North Dakota bubble, that seems like, you know, becoming an actor and moving to Hollywood is like equivalent to like going to outer space. It's like, that's not going to happen, you know? But, you know, fast forward high school, I did a play and the play went very well. It was called The Trial of the Big Bad Wolf. And I played the role of Jack Spratt. I didn't plan this, I swear to God, but I currently just moved with my wife. We just moved into a new place and I got boxes all around, but I happen to have my trophy from the trial of the Big Bad Wolf. I won
wow.
Best Actor. But that was like my first little nudge, I think, from the universe saying like, hey, you might be kind of good at this. Maybe it's something to pursue. Fast forward, I went to college, and I was a business major, honestly. And then one of my roommates was in the theater program. And at this point, I was kind of accepting my fate. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do something in business. I have no idea what. I hate every job. Every job sucks, but I guess I'll figure it out. I don't know. I was doomed. Changed my major 5 times. But my buddy, Zach Watson, he was in the theater program, and they were doing a production. It was a musical called The Assassination and Persecution of Jean-Paul Marat, as performed by the inmates of the asylum under the direction of Marquez de Sade. Very long title. Okay. It was like this huge ensemble of these, it was like a play within a play of these inmates of this insane asylum putting on a play of the French Revolution. And I played Marat, the leader of the revolution. Anyways, that went, and I auditioned on a whim, right? I was kind of joking about it, almost like I was making fun of it. And I had to like sing, and I can't sing, and I sang the national anthem, and it was like, it went so bad. Like the audition went so bad that I was laughing about it. And then like after the audition, the director, his name was Dan Rogers. He was like the director of the theater program in Bismarck State College. And he like comes up to me, and he's like a real theater guy. And he's just looking at me, and I'm like uncomfortable because he's like staring at me, and he's like, I want you to be the lead role. And I was like, what? Are you serious, man? Like, I'm not the guy. And I, fast forward, I did the play. It all went really good. And I remember opening night, we did the play. Afterwards, we all come out and we bow and everyone's applauding. And at that moment, I was like, okay, this feels really good. I think this is it. But again, at the same time, it feels impossible. How the hell do you even become an actor? Like, what do you even do? They don't teach you about film school in North Dakota. They don't tell you like you can go to Temple University. You just don't hear about these things. Like no one's doing this. So it seems like impossible. Anyway, so I got a business degree. And towards the end of college, I had a buddy, his name's Jake Williams. We both had girlfriends, and our girlfriends dumped us, coincidentally, right as we were graduating. And we both had a little bit of money saved up, and he's like, hey man, there's this thing called a working holiday visa in Australia. You want to go? Should we do it? And I was just like, there was nothing holding me back. And I was just like, yeah, sure. So we spent the summer after we graduated in North Dakota, saying farewells, working, blah, blah, blah. And then in August of 2015, we sold all of our crap, packed our bags, condensed everything to one large backpack, flew to Australia. We lived there for a year and a half. Went all the way up the East Coast. We worked on a farm. We flew to the West Coast. We got a camper van with like 5 other people, and we spent a month driving from Perth up to Darwin. Then we went back to this farm we were living at. We really just soaked in the environment of Australia, and we probably had like 10 different jobs while we were there. That's a real long rabbit hole of a conversation. But after that, right, we discovered that you can do the exact same thing in New Zealand, another working holiday visa. So this is like 2017 now. We fly to New Zealand, and they have a situation there that you get a year as an American. You get a year on a working holiday visa. However, if you do farm work and you can prove to the government that you did farm work, you can get an extension. So if you do 3 months of farm work, you can get a 6-month extension. And that's pretty much the only jobs available for backpackers in New Zealand. I mean, maybe there's some like hospitality stuff, but it's typically like you're working on farms, you're picking fruit. I picked pumpkins, I picked kiwis, I picked avocados, apples, grapes. We worked on many farms. I got the extension, long story short. And it's 2018. It's coming to the end of this long journey of me and my buddy, like a 3-year journey of us traveling. And he had a carpentry degree, and carpenter, it's a special skill in the eyes of a government. It's a trade to be a carpenter. And I had an associate's degree in business administration. And New Zealand needs carpenters. They don't need dudes with associate's degrees in business administration. So Williams was able to apply for an extension. He now is a resident. He's about to become a citizen. He has a kid. He's never left.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
So Williams, good buddy, he's still in New Zealand. But now back to me in 2018, I'm like, what am I going to do? I just experienced all this craziness for 3 years. I can't go back to North Dakota. I've seen too much. You know, I can't go back there. I love it. It's all good. But like, I can't go back there. Didn't really know what to do with myself. I had like 3 months left in the country of New Zealand. And I had to figure out a game plan of like, what am I going to do with my life? And I remembered, I'm like, oh, well, you know, acting, that went really good. And I feel like I had 2 really good signs from the universe whenever I tried acting. It was like the first play, I got that little award. And I'm like, okay. Second play, I somehow on a whim got the lead role. Little nuggets, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe I'll move to LA and I'll be an actor. But that's really scary. I don't even have a car. I sold all my crap. What am I, you know, I have like, and like we were so young and naive and stupid. And, you know, like when you're 21, 22 years old, your priorities are not necessarily the smartest, especially, you know, you're living in hostels. It's a really fun environment. You know what I mean? Anyways, I had no money and I knew that I wanted to go to LA and be an actor though. But again, it felt crazy. So I figured I'd test myself. So I was working on this grape vineyard and I that day at work, I was on Facebook and I was looking through all these different pages of these towns in New Zealand. And I was looking for anyone with an audition for anything. And there was this little town called Wellington. It's on the bottom of the North Island. It's a bigger town. But there was these 2 dudes and they were auditioning for, I believe, a student film. And this was my test. I'm like, all right, if I go to Wellington and I book this role, this is the sign that I need to then just go to LA and figure it out because this is what I need to do. That's what I should do. So I ordered, you know, I booked a hostel in Wellington. It was a 4-hour bus ride. The audition was on a Saturday. I took the bus on a Friday. That Saturday, I go to the audition. I think it goes well. It was like a vampire audition. It was really weird. And that was my first audition since like the horrible one that I butchered like 4 years prior in college. And, you know, they were nice. They said goodbye, whatever. Fast forward, it's a week goes by. I'm back in Napier, the town I was living in, Napier. I'm back in Napier. I'm working. I get an email from them saying like, congratulations, you booked the role. And I was like, holy cow. But then it was like scary because I'm like, oh, that means like I got to do it. So then I immediately emailed them back and I'm like, hey, thanks so much for the opportunity. Obviously, I can't do this role. I got to leave the country. But thank you for thank you for giving me the sign. I didn't tell them that, but I was like, thank you for your time, whatever. Called my dad. I'm like, dude, can you help me figure out a car situation? He's like, yep, I got you. And I used to work at Texas Roadhouse when I was in college in North Dakota. And I had a friend, this girl, her name was Nettie, and she had a friend. And Nettie's friend lived in LA. And I met him once at a bar. His name was Jade Dirk. And he was the only guy I knew in LA. So I'm still in New Zealand and I messaged him on Facebook and I was like, Jade, I'm moving to LA. I'm going to pursue acting. Do you know anyone that has like a house or anything? And he's like, let me get back to you. And a day goes by and he hits me up. He's like, my 2 buddies, they got a house. Their roommate moved out. There's a room available if you want it. He's like, well, we should all hop on like a Zoom call to see if like, you know, you're cool. They're cool with you. And I was like, yeah, sure. Hopped on a Zoom call like a couple days later. They were Nico and Luke were their names, really good dudes. And they tell me that the tenant that moved there was still paying the rent. He moved away, left his bedroom, and he moved back to New York, but he was still paying rent on the room. And they were like, he's paying rent for the rest of his lease, which is like 3 months. They're like, you can move here. You don't even have to pay rent for the first 3 months. Just figure it out. Get on your feet. And I was like, what? Like everything was falling into place. You know what I mean?
Speaking to you.
And then my dad, he found a car. And then come to the end of my New Zealand trip, I fly to North Dakota. My dad's got a car for me. I'm still living out of my backpack technically. I had like $600 to my name. Spent the weekend with them, packed the car up, drove straight to LA with just my backpack and my new car. It wasn't a new car. It was a 2004 Chevy Impala, but whatever. Anyways, then I drove to LA and this was 2018. And then that's what got me here essentially.
Wow.
But yeah, it's quite a journey. And then how that portrays into really serious films And Kyle is, the first 2 years in LA, you're really just trying to figure it out. You're like, okay, I'm going to be an actor. I just got to LA. What's next? What do I do? How do I even become an actor? What do I do? You're like, it's like the first 2 years, you're just like taking shots in the dark. You have no idea like what's going on. And then out of nowhere in 2020, there's this thing on Facebook, and it was like they were casting background extras to go to China to be in this war film. It was a Chinese war film about the Korean War. And some of the requirements was like, you got to be like 6 foot tall, in that range, a white dude, 20 to like 40 years old, used to firearms, used to the cold weather, and obviously growing up hunting from North Dakota, I checked all the boxes.
Yes.
And I went, auditioned. I got the role. There was going to be like 70 of us there. Kyle was one of them. And all of the people who are a part of Really Serious Films, my business partner, Paul, and a lot of the actors that we work with, we all went to China, and we were going to be background extras for like 5 months in this movie. 3 weeks go by, COVID breaks out in China, canceled the movie. They flew us all back and whatever, but the movie never happened. But all of my friends I now have are basically from China. And some of us, we formed Really Serious Films. We all met in China and blah, blah, blah. And it was like this movie that never happened. But what it did was it like basically established the relationships of everyone that's still in my life to this day. It was a really long answer, very long answer, but
very interesting. Yeah. Very
yeah.
interesting. So one of the productions from Really Serious I was watching was Murphy City. I watched the pilot from Murphy City.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Oh my goodness. What can I say about that?
I'm curious. What can you say?
The comedy was hysterical and dark comedy, and kind of the whole thing with your dad passing away and the what was left of him, and
Yeah.
was that one of the first things that Really Serious did, or was that kind of later along in the path?
Well, no, the Murphy City thing, that was our most recent narrative. The first thing that we ever did, though, I guess we were doing this web series called Boy Talk.
Boy Talk. Oh, you had
Boy Talk, yeah.
You have a Boy Talk mug in that pilot, I think, or you had you were drinking.
Or is
coffee.
was that? Are you thinking of Moon River?
No, I'm thinking of Moon River. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That was kind of like a full circle moment, you know?
Yes.
Because we were doing this web series, Boy Talk, for like 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we were realizing like this web series, it ain't going anywhere, man. We gotta, as a company, we are not making money. We got to figure something out. And then we started making, like movies and short films, and we're still like, we don't know what we're still trying to figure it out. If I can just emphasize that. But yeah, we were really just kind of starting out on the web series Boy Talk. And as you can see, there's 4 seasons of this web series.
Yeah.
So it started out as the web series, and then from there we started branching out into short films, and Moon River was our biggest film. It wasn't quite a feature, but it wasn't necessarily a short film. It was like a weird 40-minute film.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This year we're doing our first feature film. We're really excited about that. It's an alien movie.
Ooh.
It's going to be pretty nutty. I can tell you that much.
Well, you did a kind of Spider-Man thing too.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one?
Yes.
I'm curious, what was your interpretation watching that movie? That movie's so stupid.
Well, that was it was a super short in my, it was about 4 minutes or so, something like that. Yeah. Well, as a sci-fi nerd, Michael and I are both super sci-fi nerds. I could tell you were Doctor Strange, A very
Right.
strange Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And,
A strange Doctor Strange, right?
very, very strange. I loved when you threw the trash can as your, and you like abandoned him, and you were of no help at
That was just a
all.
joke.
Your point of view is interesting because I could tell that I believe that you embrace that comic stuff. However, you can mock it at the same time, and that was fun for me to see.
Okay, well, that's a great compliment. Thank you. It's a fine line, of like the comedy of like you gotta play it very real, but at the same time, there's a layer of like subtle mockery,
Mm-hmm.
but like that mockery is under a very thin coat of like
Yes.
drama. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is the most like I am delivering like a message that the world is going to explode to the president of the United States. This is important, but like it's all a joke. But like the only way the joke works is that if this is like the most important thing in my life and I need to deliver this, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And with our comedy, we're figuring out what our niche is with our comedy, and it's like we're writing this big budget stuff, but we have no money. So
99 cents, but
right, so it's like it's all delivered as like the hardest hitting drama, like the world's gonna explode, but like on a $5,000 budget, So it's like that kind of plays in with the comedy as well. It's a real niche playground we're dealing with here, but I appreciate that you can acknowledge that.
Yeah, I can see that playing at sci-fi cons. Have you been to any science fiction conventions like Comic-Con or WonderCon? Hmm.
No, I would love
Okay.
to, but
Write it
never.
down, Marcia.
Yes, I'm writing it down. Well, I do programming sometimes of panels and things at sci-fi conventions like Comic-Con and so and that's coming up July, and WonderCon is the end of March. But I can see the point of view playing well, and they have film festivals and things like that, and so we'll talk. Well, that could be something that could be fun for a lot of people. And I
I
got to
think
get back
so.
to Murphy City too, because
Right.
the combination of laser tag and putt putt made me laugh out loud.
Really?
Because it's so. Do you watch Big Bang Theory at all? Did you watch Big
No,
Bang?
no.
Okay.
I mean, I've
Well,
seen like episodes here and there, you
yeah,
know.
because laser tag or paintball, in their instance, played a large role in several of more than a couple of their episodes, and of course, uh, there's a Worlds of Wonder laser tag, which I don't know if you know about the old laser tag with the rifles and things like that. So, but laser tag and putt putt, because putt putt is so kind of bougie, kind of middle class kind of thing, and then you've got the sci-fi. So I'm loving your sense of humor. I really am. It's
Yeah, that it's so stupid. You
Was that
gotta
your
just like
idea?
no, I can't take credit for that. That was my partner Paul.
Hmm.
That was all him. But
I could almost see that working. So
yeah, you think about it, I could see it. Maybe more of a attraction for kids. I don't think you'd find
yes.
like
Hmm.
40-year-old, like upper middle class white dudes going there.
I don't know. Well, let me
You
go
never
back
know.
to Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
you just never know. I want to ask you a stupid, silly question
I love
about New
stupid.
Zealand. When you
Okay.
were in New Zealand, well, first, were you a Lord of the Rings fan?
Yes. I think I know where your
Did you
question's
go
going.
to all the sets, well, all the locations that they filmed when you were there, or did you have too much work on the farm and you couldn't go?
No, we had plenty of downtime. And I went to Hobbiton. Very cool. You get to tour the entire little town. You can open the door. The tour guide opened a door, but inside it's pretty much like nothing.
Nothing.
Only a few of the doors actually open, but still cool. It's the whole entire village. And then you go down, there's this area, and they actually have a brewery that still looks, I believe it's the set, I'm not sure, but it looks just like the set. And you can have like little Hobbits and beers and everything.
Oh my.
So we did check out Hobbiton, and then there is a volcano, which the volcano that was Mount Doom. Man, I couldn't tell you the name of it at the top of my head, but I was living in Napier, which is near that mountain. And on one day, a few of us from the hostel went and hiked it. It was a 12-hour hike, but I hiked Mount Doom. And once you hike up the mountain, there is a green lake within the mountain, like hundreds, I'm not sure if it's like hundreds of feet, thousands of feet, I have no idea. But there's like a lime green lake inside the mountain of Mount Doom. I'm going by Lord of the Rings terminology. I don't know what the real mountain is.
Right.
But it's pretty trippy. Apart from that, I think it was just those two spots I saw. But I'm a massive fan of Lord of the Rings. You know, they got The Hunt for Gollum coming out soon. I'm super pumped for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, that's cool. And we do have a question in the chat room, and I'm going to preface it by, because I didn't find this in your bio, but you may have done. Have you done any voice work? Voiceovers?
No.
I didn't think so, because Aisha's basically wanted to know if you would be interested, and would you do anime voice acting if that job came about? Would you be interested in doing voice acting, or you just prefer the real acting with cameras and all that?
I'm not too picky. I'm kind of like I'm pretty much a yes man in terms of most gigs. The opportunity to do voice acting, it hasn't come up yet, but if it did come up, I would be very interested.
There you go, because that's a whole different field. So it
is. I mean, I do voiceover auditions, and you never think about your voice when you're doing an audition on video, you know? And then when you isolate and it's just your voice, and like maybe between you're saying some words, and then there's like a little bit of a beat before the next set of words. But in that beat, if you go, or if you make any subtle noise, you know, and then like you look at the timeline when you're editing it, and then there's that little noise that you made in between, or maybe that little noise carried on to the next thing that you said, and it's like incredibly meticulous things that you never would pay attention to, but suddenly when you just isolate the voice, some people would say that voiceover work is easier. I think it's harder.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly would agree with you there. I've done some voiceover for an audio drama that some friends of mine did, and I hated it. I just hated it. I mean, it was like, at least I had someone that recorded it that knew he was a stage actor, so he knew what you had to do, and he would have me do it over so many times because I would just not get it. And I do not like to do voiceover work. But you know, maybe if I had more practice, I'd feel differently. But you know, but yeah, it shocked me when I would hear things back and I go, I did that. I don't remember making that noise or saying it like that. That's not how I thought I was doing it. But
right.
What do you do? What do you do?
What kind of character were you playing?
I was actually playing a Starfleet Commandant. Ooh. Star Trek based show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were like a captain.
Yep. But I was further up. I was almost an admiral. So, you know, it was like,
oh man, well that's quite an honor.
Yeah. But you know, it was like, I just was like, oh, this is just not my forte. And I was so glad they never produced the last one that I did some voiceover work for, because I was not happy with it at all. They ended up closing down the series, at least for now.
Oh, really? It was that bad, huh?
And well, it was 5 years ago. It was basically, you know, right in the middle part of COVID. So everything changed there, even voiceover work. So, but you know, it was something different. It was something different. So, but anyway, going back to you, get off of me.
Right.
What? So you're into Lord of the Rings. You're kind of into sci-fi. Are there other franchises in the sci-fi world that you really like? That you like to look at all their stuff, or just when you have a moment to contemplate life or whatever?
Yeah. Matrix is cool.
Mhm.
Matrix fan. I mean, it's interesting because like I feel like there's only like a few sci-fi franchises that are like, there's like a handful of them, right? I mean, it's like you got Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. There's probably more, but like those are like the huge ones. I know like a
Mhm.
lot of, I love sci-fi, but I think it's more of like the one-offs that really,
That
because
really
like
you
Lord of the
like.
Rings is like 20 years old at this point. So, but
Hmm.
like some recent sci-fis that I found really cool. Um, did you see the Creator?
I
Came
did
out like
not.
two
Yes.
years ago with
Oh, did you watch that, Marsha? Oh, no, I didn't. I
Yes.
missed that one.
dude, that movie kicked ass. That was so cool.
Yes.
I feel like no one talked about that movie. That movie like blew my
You're
mind.
right. Mhm.
And a lot
Mhm.
of like older sci-fis, I guess. I'm a big John Carpenter fan. One of my I guess
Mm.
idols you could say would be Kurt Russell in the 80s.
Hmm.
And him
Oh,
and
I'm
John
with you
Carpenter, they were
there.
killing it. Dude, they Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China. It was
Soldier.
those movies are awesome.
Mhm.
They're so cool. Escape from New York really has a special place in my heart. To my understanding, they're actually going to be remaking that film as well.
I had heard something like that. They're doing that a lot recently. So
Hmm.
sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But
Hmm.
Yeah,
How
that
can you
one. I
improve
mean,
on
gosh,
Snake Plissken? I don't know.
yeah. Well, I'm looking for that audition. I'll tell you that much. But
mm,
I was doing a
Hmm.
little creeping on IMDb, and I saw that the directors attached were the directors of the most recent Scream movie. It's like they have a little company. They're like a pack of 3 directors. I couldn't tell you their names. I think they did Annabelle as well.
oh, okay, okay.
But anyways, I think they're attached to Escape from New York. So anyways, I
You'll be
digress.
keeping an
But
eye out. Hmm.
keeping an eye out. Yeah, it's a cool movie. It's such a cool concept.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is there any? Because you've been around. I mean, you've been to Australia. You've been to New Zealand. Is there any other place you would like to go visit, or you would like to maybe film a vertical in, or some other project that you haven't gone to yet?
I mean, the list is endless. I'll tell you what, though, in terms of vertical acting, I know a lot of actors have been going to like Turkey,
Hmm.
China, New York. I mean, any place really. I've only done the verticals in LA, but to be flown out to like a China or a New York would be really cool. I mean, ever since we were in China for that
Little
work thing.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, dude, I would love to go back to China. What a cool country. Like it's like it literally feels like you're in a different world. Like you're completely in a different world. It's like you go to Europe or you go to Australia, it's kind of the same. But you go there, it's completely different.
Completely
It's
different.
cool, man. Um, but yeah, I think China or New York would be really cool for the vertical world. Very excited to see how those progress this year. If you think about how the
Yeah.
verticals have changed from like
Hmm.
2023 to now, they're a completely different beast. These things are evolving before our eyes.
Yeah.
Speaking of sci-fi, like I'm sure the time's going to come where there's going to be some like straight up high quality sci-fi vertical love story alpha werewolf billionaire situation. It's going to be
Yeah.
so cool, man.
Yeah. As long as they're also a CEO, then it's fine.
Right, right.
Mhm.
But like imagine that. They're like my baby daddy is an Agunaki leader.
You just never know what they're going to come up with next. But um, is there any role besides the one that we just talked about that you would like to do in Escape from New York? Is there any role that you would like to play in a remake or production you would like to create, or
That, yeah.
or haven't you even thought of that yet?
I
Or
mean,
is there
my
too many
dream
you don't
role
even
is,
want to think?
I don't know. I think I answered it already, honestly. I think I answered it without even knowing that question was coming. But honestly, my dream role is to like play Snake Plissken. That
Okay.
would be, when just to keep like diving down the Snake Plissken hallway. When Kurt Russell first did the role, I believe he was 31 years old. I am 31 years old.
There
So I'm
you
like,
go. Mhm.
That's the universe
I
speaking
kind
to you
of,
again, right?
dude, I got the look. I got the Kurt Russell thing going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
if they need to recast, I hope they watch this podcast.
Mhm.
But I think it
There
would
you
be,
go.
I think it would be Snake Plissken, honestly.
Okay, well, that answers that. Marcia, your final round?
Well, thinking about roles, you also were in an episode of the Wild West Chronicles. So, the kind of Western dude, you got to play with guns and, and be the kind of mean sheriff dude. How did you enjoy that world?
That was cool. I was a bad guy in that one as well, bad dude. But that was fun. Um, those are the kind of roles where like you're like, okay, this is a film set. It feels, yeah, you know what I mean? It feels like Hollywood. You're doing a
Mm,
Western. Everyone looks Western. You're in a Western.
mm,
You're clearly not in the year 2025. It's like 18 some. It feels like a Hollywood thing.
mm, mm,
It's almost like you're going deeper into the playground. You know what I
mm,
mean?
Mhm.
Like
mm.
you're making a modern day rom-com where everyone's wearing normal clothes and they're on their phone and it's all cute and you're like, okay, it kind of feels like real life. But you do that and you're like, oh, we're going deeper into the ether here. Like we're going deeper into the playground.
Yeah.
It's fun. I would love to do any kind of
Wow.
Western again.
Yeah.
Not
Hmm.
many, not many Westerns coming out these days, but that would be
Yeah.
cool to be in like a really good new one.
Hmm. And earlier we were talking about some of your vertical roles and the actual atmosphere of the vertical itself. I Love You More Than Life was a different kind of vertical. I'm fairly new to the vertical scene. Michael introduced me to it.
No, I already said that I dragged you. I said that at the beginning of the show that you
And
missed.
this was really sad.
Yeah, very very sad one. Yeah.
And surprisingly so, because I was thinking that most verticals end, happy ending. And I kept thinking, oh, she's like the main character, she's not really dead. Yeah, well, and you were the consoler, sort of the Greek chorus in a way of trying to bring your friend into back to the reality of what his situation was.
Yeah. Very different vertical. That
Yeah.
one, I mean, if I could highlight that one as well, that one was completely different than the vertical formula that we're very
Yes.
accustomed to. That one
Hmm.
was very special. And Mark, I'm not sure if you guys have had him on the show yet. Mark, such a good dude, incredible actor, great to act with him.
Hmm.
I liked that vertical a lot. That was fun.
I
Some
believe.
heavy drama, heavy
Heavy.
drama on that one.
Yeah. And speaking of heavy drama, you've done some serious stuff. You've done horror, and some really the darker side too. But I kind of think that do you enjoy that too? Because even Diaspora, I think it was black and white, a black and white film, and the Demoness.
Very dark, very dark.
Mm,
It's like eating food. You just want to have a well balanced plate. I really enjoy it all.
mhm,
Comedy is a lot of fun, and obviously with really serious films, we make comedy.
mhm,
But a part of what makes the comedy work is the fact that it's dramatic acting. So it's not like it's not like an Adam Sandler movie like on set. It's like we're laughing, but like everything has to be played as drama. And I truly believe that. I think drama is my favorite. Horror's
mhm,
fun. Horror's fun because a horror movie is probably the most engaging movie. Like the odds that someone will go see a horror movie with a bunch of no-name actors is much of a higher probability than someone trying to watch a comedy movie with a bunch of no-name actors. Like, they're going to watch the horror movie. So
You're right. Yeah.
that's cool about horror.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all really cool, but I guess I prefer, as an actor, I prefer drama. It's the best.
Interesting. And my next to last, well, you've almost done what I'm going to ask you. There's so many reality shows, so many cooking shows, competition shows, dance show, adventure shows, brain shows. If you've kind of been on an amazing race in my mind, but if you had to choose a reality show to be on as a contestant or participant, what do you think you might choose?
I would love to be in like a reality show where it's like a cook-off, and you got Gordon
Ah,
Ramsay screaming in my face,
there you
and,
go.
and it's like me versus like a sous chef. I'm probably gonna lose that match, but like I think it would be really funny to see Gordon Ramsay like screaming at me, and like the experience itself would just be so fun. I think about my family watching that and how how entertained they would be watching me get screamed at by Gordon Ramsay, and like just making a fool out of myself on a cooking show. It would be that for sure.
I love that. Okay. And I do want to say congratulations. You're like a newlywed.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, check it out. We're
There you go. The big wedding ring. Congratulations to you and your wife, and love
Thank
and
you.
happiness forever. And thank you so much for spending time with us today and bringing us into your world for a while.
Well, thank you guys, Michael, Marcia. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm flattered that you would want me as a guest, and I hope I was a good guest.
You
Yes.
were.
Absolutely.
One last question in the chat room, and I do not know the answer to this, and I don't know if you do either, but I'm going to throw it up. Aisha wants to know, are they filming verticals that you know of in Japan or Korea? Have you heard of any of that yet?
I have not heard, but probably, honestly.
I have not either, so that's why I was wondering. But probably if
I
they're
wouldn't be
not, they
surprised.
might. Probably soon they will be. I'm assuming. So that seems to be what the case is. I mean, they're just branching out everywhere. So, and you just get to. It's just amazing. But
It's a
again,
wave. It's the new thing.
it's the new thing.
Yeah.
Dallas, thank you so much for coming on. People in the chat room, thank you for joining us. A lot of people were just quiet, but we're kind of used to that. But if you watch us later, just listen and like and subscribe and follow us so you don't miss any other guests. We've got a few coming up this coming week. We got some more vertical actors coming, and up through about the 15th of February. And then after that, we'll be going back to our other staple, which is having contestants from The Voice. So we're looking forward to that. So everyone take care, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
All right.
All right.
Happy
Thanks,
New Year,
guys.
Phil.